Hi guys, it is Andrew here today for an irrelevant video which will probably be classified as other because I am not talking about anything I usually talk about. I'll be talking about some of the problems, some of the things and updates about the coronavirus. So as you might recall if you watch my videos, uh 2 months ago, in January, I actually posted a video about the coronavirus back when the bushfires were a thing, and the coronavirus was, I think, perhaps limited to Asia. So I was talking about, and I actually reacted to a lot of memes, a lot of TikToks before it hit America. So by now, as you know, it is a global pandemic. Um, countries, big countries, which were on the sending end of racist jokes, memes, TikToks, videos, are now on suffering from the same sort of crisis that China was in, except for their poor handling of government. So if we just go check it out, just many things. First of all is the social implications. So I did talk about how it was essential that all countries limited travel to uh China. So we saw countries like Singapore, Mongolia, Russia, all of which actually from the period where China announced that it was viral transmission, human to human, mutated to that. Those countries literally blocked their borders to China, and that was successful in Singapore and Russia, where they had a few cases. I'm talking about Russia, but Singapore had very little cases. It was only state officials coming back from China, which is great handling. And I think, um, while you can say that the Chinese late response to the coronavirus and late announcement to the World Health Organization, you could also argue that other countries are doing enough, which comes to my next point, which is talking about freedom of speech and restrictions. Now, no one's taking away your freedom. If you're under quarantine, you're under lockdown, why do you have to be a prick about it? Like, so I've seen people literally um go on uh YouTube, on social media, even New York Times. They're going on social media and talking about how China is infringing the rights of its citizens, and then we come over to Italy and they're doing a similar thing, and no one's talking about it. Except in China, it actually did work. So whether you like a lockdown or not, and whether you are that type of Jennifer Aniston person who says that the coronavirus shouldn't restrict your freedom, you have to think about two things. One of all is whether it works. It does work. The quarantine's needed. Now, other countries are following suit, but however, this is not enough. Simply by going on Twitter as a mayor and telling your citizens to stay at home isn't going to be enough. You need to have strict quarantine and punishments for not being quarantined, such as jail time, such as fines, such as community service after the coronavirus. So, I'm not really sure what people are talking about infringing freedoms, because clearly the coronavirus needs a sort of handling of it. And the second of all is just the general necessity of it. We know how infectious the virus is, yet I see people online who literally think it's funny to go into a Walmart while contracting the coronavirus, like literally testing positive, right afterwards going to a Walmart and laughing about it and posting on social media. Like, what type of person is that stupid enough that not only is he putting uh tens of people, dozens of people at risk, he's actually thinking it's funny. And the sad bit is people are so misinformed. So I did a video on Venanti where which is my second channel, where I responded to some people who had sort of uh were misinformed about the coronavirus. And there's two pieces of misinformation. First of all, anything from China, anything with corona in its name has the coronavirus. Now, I don't know if it's just a panic or it's just people being stupid. Like, there are literally people who are going to supermarket and literally buying all of the beers except for the Corona, like the Corona beer. Like, oh yeah, great. Like, it has Corona in its name. Like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, why would what makes you think a beer named Corona has a coronavirus? Like, it's been around for more than 100 years, that beer. So I don't know what just happened. Oh yeah, it has Corona in its name, so it has to have the coronavirus. I'm telling you, right? Um, and then the second bit is the racism. Like, now I know, like, people are obsessing over racism. And I'm telling you guys, all nations, health is number one priority. Okay, focus on putting everyone at home first. Okay, and once you sort that out, go to the secondary implications of the virus. So, we have people right now being complete dunces, complete pricks, and they're deciding to be racist to Asians. Number one, just because you're Asian doesn't have the virus. Oh great, he's speaking Chinese. Okay, great. No one's telling you that you can't maybe choose to sit away from him. There's nothing wrong with it. Like, if you're really that ignorant, you can do that, and it's not really any problem. If you want to do that, do that. But the problem is, you have to make a big scene out of it. We have people. I saw a video of these African American group of people who are laughing while using an axe to harass this Asian man simply because he was shopping in the same grocery store. We have people on the metro every day in the United States being ignorant and literally telling Asians to stay away from them. I mean, no one else has a problem with it. If you really think that specific Asian has the coronavirus, then just leave. It's that simple. Doesn't require anything more. Doesn't require anything less. And last is the panic buying. People are being pricks by increasing the price by so much. Like, I think there are regulations for the 10% increase at once in for a certain price, but the governments can't really be bothered. So stores in the United Kingdom, in Hong Kong, practically anywhere except for China, who are literally shut down, increase their toilet paper prices by over double, over triple. We see a toilet roll costing like £6, like for one toilet roll. Like, first of all, I do not understand the panic buying there is. I mean, if the first person didn't panic buy, then no one else would panic buy, because then there wouldn't be a limited amount of supply, if you know what I mean. Like, it's completely ridiculous that you just think there's a food crisis. I mean, think about how much food is at Costco. They're not gonna run out, they're wholesale. You don't have to line up in the morning just to buy one carton of milk out of like the, I don't know, 600 liters that they have inside the fridge. You don't need to be this worried. And we have people who are treating like Formula One, the Costco Grand Prix, where they run around in their carts buying everything they can. Like, guys, you need to calm down. Like, like, I'm in Hong Kong. My local supermarket on multiple occasions ran out of food. Like, on the same day it restocked. And we are doing fine. We can still get our food. I'm not starving to death. It's fine. So guys, calm down. Like, just calm down. Like, and yeah. So, as for the coronavirus, affecting us, socially, we have sporting events, exams. We have, so many different, music, award shows, festivals, performances, concerts, etc., are being cancelled. We have music being cancelled, world tours. We have tennis circuits, football leagues, the Premier League, the Champions League, all being cancelled, with the increasing coronavirus in Europe. And we have the cancellation of major leagues, such as Major League Baseball, if that's on. I'm not sure about that. We have basketball being cancelled. And by the way, talking about basketball, if you know that guy who contracted the coronavirus first, I can't remember his name, but he's from the Utah Jazz. He was a complete prick. he literally touched all of the fronts of the mics. I mean, when you're told that the coronavirus is spread by fluids and you still decide to go touch the mics, you must be a dunce. And if you get infected by the coronavirus, yeah, it's karma. But that's bad because the entire league canceled because one player couldn't keep his hands to himself. Like, Jesus Christ. Keep your hands to yourself. Like, it's not that hard. Like, if you touch your face, that's fine, but don't touch other mics for no reason, like, just to get attention, you know? And, it's just having a huge social impact on us. Restaurants are closing, and people are going with leave pay, and I'm fine with that. Some restaurants really can pay their employees sick leave because they can't survive themselves. But when we have large corporations like Amazon, we have Google, we have Facebook, they're all not paying their employees while this coronavirus is going on. It's a huge strain to those families affected, and it's hugely unfair when those are multi-trillionaire companies who literally have the ability to feed practically everyone in Madagascar with a Happy Meal. Like, jeez, I think that giving them the same wage will affect anything. Um, and the world is going to into a recession right now. We have economic downturn. Oh, by the way, talking about the Olympics and everything being postponed, just cancel it for God's sake. Like, I get the Olympics is a big thing, and maybe you could postpone it, like the Euros to 2021. That would be pretty cool if you postponed it for 1 year, but don't be that desperate. You guys, it's bad for you. It's bad for the sporting organizations. It's bad for the players and for the sports people, and it's bad for the audiences. I mean, we don't get to watch it live. The sports people have to play without atmosphere, and the organizers don't get the ticket money. So, guys, just postpone it for at least a year. Like, and we have exams being cancelled. In the America, the AP, the SAT exams are all being changed. The SATs are being cancelled because they have multiple choice. The APs normally having multiple choice is removing them and only giving written questions online. I think this is while this is sort of, unless anyone has a better alternative, there is actually nothing you can do. Like, we can't allow multiple choice unless there's a way to monitor whether you're cheating, because to be honest, when you have four or five options to choose from, it's not very hard to search online, and that's the problem. Although cheating is a huge problem and will be. So I think it's the right call to do that. Although not to cancel it, but to give opportunity, because this year the students are so screwed. Anyone who's in a grade that is testing or will be hugely affected, no matter if they're going to college next year or not. This will affect their records, and I'm thankful that I'm in my last year of middle school, or year 9, as you guys call it in Hong Kong, or the United Kingdom, because I don't have to take any GCSEs, or, IBs, or A-levels, or whatever you take, and, I know in Hong Kong the local DSE exams are being, postponed as well, and I feel like this is gonna be hugely worrying. There's nothing much you can do right now, and it's easy to put the blame on the people eating bats and whoever eat those animals that were the origin of the coronavirus, and it's easy to blame that the Chinese government censored the news media, and it's easy to create conspiracy theories such as China created the coronavirus, or it's a plot to destroy the entire world economy where China will rise through the ashes. I've encountered that on multiple occasions, both in person and online. It's completely ridiculous. Please, guys, stop. It's just like saying, oh yeah, since in the past Native Americans, General Custer actually I think massacred a lot of American Indians. Every American Indian death, every American Indian homicide is by the government is by U.S. government is by fault because they have done it before. Now that just is a preposterous claim. There's no evidence behind that, and that's widely speculation, which doesn't even make sense in general. So I don't even understand the logic behind it. Uh, yep, Trump needs to learn from China as well. So although China got the coronavirus, the United States didn't took it too lightly. They made memes, they made TikToks about it, and took it like it was the bird flu or something. Like it's just gonna only affect China. It's a small thing. It's like the flu. Well, turns out it is more infectious than the flu, and it has entered the United States. They had even when the first cases were reported in Washington, Trump didn't do anything. He let the media show what happened. He didn't do anything. That's a shame because he actually had info on what the coronavirus is and the deadly implications of it. And he knew that when one case was reported, it meant that there were already dozens, maybe hundreds of cases out there. And he didn't bother to quarantine the state of Washington. He didn't bother to close the borders or quarantine states near Washington, like Idaho, Oregon, California, Montana, etc. He didn't do that. So the USA's coronavirus situation is partially down to the bad management, and same in Italy. Except you could see that they don't actually have the resources available to actually do anything about the coronavirus. If you have noticed, they haven't done anything about the coronavirus. What they set up temporary camps like the China, but it hasn't been going that well. Now, I'll talk to you about some of the statistics about So, by the way, if you use Discord, there is this bot which is called COVID-19, which basically you can find out the individual cities, the amount of cases. So, right now in Italy, we have 47,000 cases. Now, it is completely ridiculous if we go to China, which is actually the origin of the virus. Let's just go to China. They actually have 81 cases. So basically, Italy has more than maybe 55-60% of the cases that China has. And imagine that China has more densely populated cities, multiple cities, dozens of cities with more than 1 million people. No, actually, they have like more than 100 cities with more than 1 million people, I think. I'm not sure about that. Don't take my word on that. But they have jam-packed cities. Yet they're actually doing surprisingly well. There's already more deaths in Italy. I mean, think about a 1.5 billion population against a population that doesn't even have 100,000 people. Like, imagine how ridiculous that is. There's already more deaths in Italy than in China. Like, and if you think about why that is probably because two things. Either it is the poor response of the Italian government, who gets actually tens of thousands of Chinese tourists every year going to cities like Rome, Venice, Milan, etc. Or two, they just don't have the resources. Now I think it's a mixture of both. They have already put their cities on lockdown, but it's already too late. Because now we get today we already got 6,000 new cases from Italy. We had 627 deaths today, and we have 47,000 cases. In fact, Italy has more deaths than China, which is just weird. We have 81 cases in China, 71,000 already recovered, and 3,000 deaths. So if you think about it, more people recovered. Almost everyone, maybe like 7/8. I don't know what fraction that is. I'm sorry. Like 75%, maybe more than 75% of the population in China has already who contracted the coronavirus actually was cured. And I'm telling you, they only have 41 cases today, and they had relatively moderate 7. So, guys, we have a lot to learn now. I'm not saying that every country should go into authoritarian regime, because that is not how the global sort of political system works. Can't just want to go authoritarian. It just doesn't work like that. We have the United States with 19,000 cases right now, and 258 deaths. the USA is relatively doing well. It's just because in Italy, it's a smaller country, more densely packed than in the United States, where we have white, but they are catching up too. The USA has shown even more similar cases to Italy today with 5,680 and 51 deaths. Now, yesterday, a lot of announcements, a lot of AP exams being changed and everything. So, my prediction, and I'll be talking about this in a few weeks if we have more updates onto the coronavirus. Is what sort of what's next? Will this coronavirus be eradicated by the summer? Will it continue to persist? And what's next? So, I think the virus, just like any virus, will have huge impact on the economy. There is already a recession, and then we'll most likely see a Democratic candidate in 2020. Not that it matters, but to be honest, the economy is going to have a huge downturn. It's going to be worse than 2009 recession. It's going to tank a lot. Not as big as the Great Depression, because we have these fail safes in our economy now, but we are going to see a recession. Stocks are going down, and that the Dow Jones is just gonna drop as well. It doesn't matter. So guys, don't. There's no point. Like, if there's a recession, it's gonna happen. It's inevitable. It's already happening. But what can we do to actually improve this? First of all, our first step we need to take is to actually isolate ourselves. So some people can't restrain themselves, and they find themselves inside a country which gets 6,000 cases per day, going outside and purposely licking poles inside the metro. Now, that's both a retarded thing to do, and it shows how uneducated and the lack of self-control that you have. Come on, you can't be this childish. You're a grown-up. Please stop licking poles that people touch. So, second of all, is if you have any essential travel, and essential does not mean keeping open a video game store. I'm talking about GameStop. It is about stuff like, oh, we're running out of groceries. We need to go buy some groceries. Or, oh, my sister broke her leg. She needs to see emergency assistance at a hospital. Or it's something like, I don't know, maybe our house ran out of power. I need to find an electrician. Something like that. It does not mean I want to go outside because I want to hang out at a park. It does not mean I want to go out because I haven't been out in a long time. It's not how it works. And as for the coronavirus, I believe that this virus will continue to be infecting. It will eventually calm down, but I'm hoping that by in a few months, because if you think about it, China's calming down after 2 to 3 months. Now it's at peak, so after 1 month in the United States. So I'm assuming that by June, the cases should go down. But don't take my word for it. As many scientific fields say, the cure is not gonna be here until late in the year, and we are gonna see people actually. We're gonna see a second wave of it, because when you think, oh yeah, there's no more cases in the coronavirus, let's go outside, and it so happens 1 or 2 people have the coronavirus, it's gonna spread again. So we need to make sure that there's not gonna be a second wave before we let people out. People are afraid that it's gonna happen in China. It's already happening in Hong Kong, the second wave. So we need to be very cautious about that. That is it for this video. Just note that I'm not making any assumptions. If I got any facts wrong, I'm sorry. I'm trying to make this as accurate and as unbiased as possible. But obviously, talking about politics, it's really hard to do that. So don't take my word for it. Go search it up yourself. Do some research. Watch the news. And I hope you guys stay safe and not contract the coronavirus, and make sure to take the appropriate measures and not be like that one guy on Reddit who decides to infect dozens of other people. Thank you guys for watching. I'll be doing more of this in the future. Make sure to subscribe, and Good luck with online learning or online working.